Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out a game called One Door by developer Godan. This is another one from the LD28 competition and features essentially a big old surreal giant dream world that we're going to be exploring, trying to assemble the pieces of a puzzle back together so we can properly find, I believe, the one door that we're going to need to get out. I'm not sure exactly what all the details are just yet, but I am quite intrigued by this premise and the fact that, well, it's a surreal exploration game, and if you know me, I certainly do enjoy those quite a bit. We will be looking at the post-compo version of this game today. Normally, I would just choose the regular entry version, but in this case, the difference between the two is actually enough that I wanted to make sure that I covered it specifically to give a better recording. So if you guys want to try the more refined, polished version that finished being developed after the competition ended, feel free. The links are going to be there in the description for both. Or the link will take you to the page that has both links, rather. But I am rather eager to try this one out, so why don't we give it a shot and see what we can figure out about it. So this game is about exploration of a dreamlike world. Your quest is to get out by discovering all the necessary pieces of the dream. To explore, you can try to go through the doors, however, they won't always take you where you want to go. Learning how the doors work is the main puzzle. Good luck! So the other thing that has to do with the theme of this LD competition, again, it's called You Only Get One, is the fact that since it's partially procedurally generated, every person's playthrough of this is going to be slightly different. So let's hit play and see what there is to see. First thing that strikes me, at the bottom of the screen, there seems to be a meter of some kind. What I would have expected that it would be was some kind of a frame rate thing, but it seems a little too big for that, and it seems like it's taking up a lot of the screen. So that sort of leads me to believe that it's probably not. And also, the number is, like, very low, and that's clearly not what my frame rate is. So we're in a field that seems to be endless, and the further we walk away from the center point, it seems like the more things are generated. Whether that be light posts, or doors, or, I don't know, whatever else might show up here. There's a few little spots that are empty in the foliage, and it looks like the doors are just about everywhere, which is totally giving me a bit of a Yume Nikki vibe. And the other thing is, they're actually 3D modeled, but they seem to be rotating in space as if they were sprites, which makes me wonder a little bit. And also, they seem to jump around a bit. So what I'm trying to figure out right now is I'm looking at to see if there's any correlation. I'm looking down at the bottom of the screen, watching for where those peaks are and trying to see if those correlate with anything. They might have something to do with the generation scheme of the world, maybe as I'm walking past certain borders, causing things to happen. And when I open one of these doors, we're greeted with some pretty wild, crazy static, which I'm going to walk right into and see what happens. Alright, it seems to have taken us to a transparent log cabin of sort, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that information, whether or not I can go into it or interact with it in any way. It looks like I can just walk straight through it, so we're enjoying being inside. Now, looking around, I'm sort of taking notice of the fact that this is a very dark, kind of a bleak world. My heart seems to be beating now. I can hear it in my ears. But it seems to be raining all the time, and I'm not sure if that's specifically to set some sort of a temperament, or if it's supposed to juxtapose the music that's playing, which, by all accounts, is quite nice. It's rather pleasant, it's rather tranquil and calming, but maybe a little bit on the solemn side as well. And as you can hear right there, it takes a little bit of a turn towards being a bit more serious, but then when you walk through a door, it almost seems like everything is all good again. So now we've been greeted by a tree here, and there's a whole bunch of these lights, which are, I believe, actually generating dynamic lighting. And I should mention this is a Unity game, so if you're wondering why it looks so good, well, that certainly is a good start. But I think the developers also made some lovely assets as well, so those things together usually help quite a bit. I'm noticing the door will continue to turn even if it's open. So it always faces forward. That one didn't seem to take me out anywhere, though. I think I just walked through that one, unless I may have just not hit E when I walked into it. Oh, okay, what happened there? And I'm not sure the doors are taking me anywhere anymore, so maybe I should try walking away from this whole scenario and seeing if there's anything else going on out there. Still trying to watch what this number might mean. I mean, it drops as low as 0, and then it seems to kick back up to as high as 60 or 70, which is why I was thinking, you know, when we're around the 70 range or the 40 range, any of that could be viable as a frame rate number, but clearly we're not at 2 right now. Things are completely smooth, I would say. Solid 60 frames locked in. In fact, Fraps actually will corroborate that evidence. Now, what am I doing here? I haven't figured out how the doors work, so maybe I should try and watch for any bizarre behavior, or maybe I should just try and walk out of this area, because it seems to keep taking me back to that house. Let's see if anything strange pops up as we walk further and further away. I'm definitely enjoying the ambience, and I have to say this is one of the more polished games that I've seen from the LD competition. I've seen a good variety of different styles of games, whether they be well-made because they just don't have a lot going on in them, you know, in complexity-wise, or maybe the concept behind it lends to rather easy development. You kind of have to make concessions. I was actually talking with someone about this earlier, and it just is 48 hours is not enough time. And I grant, yes, that I am playing the post-compo version, so things are a little bit more fleshed out than they might have been in the, you know, the entry version. But still, I think this is the core concept, and I think all of that was there in that. It might have just had a worse frame rate or something like that. So all in all, I'm very impressed by this. It seems like there's a bit of an empty spot here. I wonder if that means anything. You can find a door that'll appear in this general vicinity. But yeah, I'm impressed. I've gone through the whole list of all the LD28 games now about 2.5 times. I've picked out my full list of things that I want to try out. I think I ended up with about 40 games in total, which is pretty wild. Maybe it's a little more than that, actually. And I was very impressed by what I saw. The fact that there were this many games, I think that's probably the most I've ever pulled from any of these LD competitions. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th one that I've covered now on the channel. It's amazing to think. I've been around doing this now for... Whoa! That is not what I expected to happen. Did I just smash myself with the door? I think that's what happened, actually. What if I do that again? No, that door doesn't seem to bother me as much. But yeah, I've been around doing this for... It's almost to the 2-year mark now, which is crazy. I can't believe how fast that's gone by. And I guess this door just doesn't work, so that's... Oh, there it goes. I can't tell if you're supposed to hit E or you're supposed to just walk through it. And evidently I'm not solving the door puzzle whatsoever, so it might be beyond me. I might not be catching whatever the correlation is that I'm supposed to be looking for. Now, is that door open because I already opened it? It may be. And also, what makes my heart do that beating extra loud like that? I wonder. There's so many mysterious things about this. I just wish there were a few more scenarios going on, aesthetic-wise. That door is being a butt. Can we sort this, please? Come on, now. Oh, that time it works. Seems like they just keep taking me closer to this house. And now it seems like there's a ton of doors. Is this back to where I was before? The lighting seems a little different. If I walk backward through it? Is it that simple? That'd be hilarious if I just had to do that. No, okay, that's not it either. Alright, I feel a little bit silly. I'm sure you guys have probably figured it out, whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing by now, because the main puzzle, again, is to deal with the doors. The lamps don't do anything either, in case you're wondering. I've tried clicking on those. And I'm just sort of looking at some of the details here that you can even see the rain as it breaks apart over the grass. I think it's actually breaking apart a little bit above the grass, but still. Oh, it might actually be hitting my character too, so either way. It would be very easy for the developers to turn this into a horror game if they really wanted to, and I'm kind of glad that we didn't need to go that route. Oh. What's happened here? It seems like the music stopped. Or maybe it just looped. Yeah, I mean, I've gone through so many arbitrary doors now, I feel like I'm probably not going to get the hint. What if I just walk? We'll just walk for a while, we'll see what happens. Wish I was a little bit faster, kind of wish I could sprint. The house is in that direction. I just face away from it, or face toward it rather, instead of away from it, and I'll just walk away in this direction. Maybe I'll loop around back to the other side or something. Looks like my view distance isn't all that far, but I guess that's kind of to be expected since I'm kind of walking through an endless field. It'd be kind of cool if there was a bit of terrain, maybe altitude-wise, that changed, just to give you a little bit more of a sense of space, because right now it kind of feels like everything is very homogeneous wherever you go. So what are these little hills about down at the bottom? I do not understand. I'm trying to just stay away from the grass right now and just walk down this little path to see if that means anything. So far, it's the only part of it that seems to be actually substantially different is just that ground bit. But looks like that's given way to more doors. And no matter what I do, it's going to take me back to that house as far as I can tell, so... Streetlights or no. Looks like I'm going to have to go back through the last door or the next door. Wait, is the ground ending here? Have I walked as far as I can walk? It looks like I have. And, I win! I don't think I won, actually. But I did potentially break the game, and that's fun, right? So I thought it was going to keep generating land forever, but apparently that's not the case. So now we just have this lovely rain particle generator that's going on our blackened screen. But that's okay, you know, I feel fine with that. Wow, that's strange looking. I kind of like that I didn't solve it, because that means that you guys can ponder the mystery, and even if it's fairly obvious, work it out in the chat with each other, in the comments with each other, and perhaps it will promote discussion. And that's what we're all here to do. So if you guys would love to let me know about what you thought of this game, I'd be absolutely totally open to hear it. I'd love to have a little bit of conversation about maybe if there was symbology that you thought you saw in there, if there was, you know, reasons for things to be the way they are, and probably once I know the solution, then that'll start to become a little bit more clear. But I certainly didn't expect to fall off the end of the world. So I found the alternate ending, I guess. We'll put it that way. So that is going to do it for another day's worth of indie impressions, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and as always, the links for the game are going to be available right in the description, so if you want to try this out yourself, it is totally free. There is a web version, there is a downloadable client version, and again, there's also a post-competition version, and that also has its supplementary web version as well, so you can pretty much play any version of it any way you want. And I encourage you to do so. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed the experience. I wish there was a little bit more to it, but that's kind of how a lot of these games go, especially when they're put together in largely 48 hours. It's definitely a limiting constraint like I talked about earlier. So that is going to do it, guys. Thank you again for watching. Please leave any support you can. Leave your opinions as well. Go grab the game, and be sure to come back again tomorrow. I'd love to talk to you again. New games are going to be every single day. I think we've got like a month's worth of LD games coming. I'll try and break them up. I don't think we're going to do it solid for the entire time, but I will definitely hit a bunch of them, because there's a lot that look really cool, and I think ones that are really awesome that I think you might not see anywhere else. So if you enjoyed this, be sure to come back. I'll catch you then, and I hope you have a lovely night, guys. Talk to you later.